A teenage girl walks into a megastore and casually grabs a pack of bullets along with some chewing gum, of course. She hops into the car with her boyfriend and his thug crew, heading straight to a house where a tenant family supposedly swiped some hidden drug money. Once there, the boyfriend decides it's a great time for a loyalty test. He tells her to watch the back door, gun in hand, while he and the gang handle things inside. Seconds later, gunfire erupts. Kids on the street scatter. She walks in to find one man already dead, another tied to a chair, and her boyfriend demanding more blood. He shoves a pistol into her hand and tells her to prove her love by killing the helpless woman right there.
This is how you prove it. You're alive because of me!
Panicked, she hesitates. That's when the woman lunges. She flinches, pulls the trigger, and the bullet hits her boyfriend straight in the neck. Shocked, she drops the gun and bolts. She just shot her boyfriend, and now she's on the run. And with that start, today we're recapping the 2016 action thriller Bloodfather. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, back to the story. Now we meet another character, John. He sits in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, speaking with quiet honesty. He opens up about his struggles with alcohol and drugs, the same addictions that landed him in prison for 7 years. He's out now, on parole, and trying to rebuild what's left of his life. John spends time with his sponsor and friend, Kirby, and admits he still carries a long list of enemies from his past. These days, he keeps it simple, living out of a trailer where he runs a small tattoo studio to get by. One of his clients, a woman getting inked, notices a wall with some missing photos of the same girl at the beginning. John tells her he hasn't seen his daughter in 3 years. And then his phone rings. It's her, Lydia. Her voice is shaking. She's in trouble and needs money fast. Says she has to leave the state or they'll find her and kill her. John doesn't waste a second. He grabs his keys and drives to get her. He finds Lydia, clearly worn out, and brings her home. She dozes off in the car, so he carries her inside and lays her gently on the bed. While she sleeps, John searches her bag. He finds a bottle of alcohol and pours it down the sink. There's a gun in there too, and drugs. Lydia won't tell him what's going on. She keeps her guard up. John doesn't push. He just asks her to stay for a while, tells her he'll give her the money, but only if she's ready to turn things around. He calls his ex-wife. She picks up and immediately hangs up. By morning, trouble comes knocking, this time through Lydia's phone. A threatening message lights up the screen. She's jumpy, sweating, clearly in the early stages of withdrawal. John sees it right away and calls Kirby for advice. Kirby suggests a hospital or rehab, but they both know it's too risky. Someone's out there looking for her. That night, an SUV rolls up quietly outside John's trailer. 3 guys step out, acting casual, asking about tattoos. But John knows better. They're here for Lydia. Without a word, he slams the door shut. The men start pounding on it. They're not worried about cops. John's a parolee, and calling the police could send him straight back to prison. The gang starts smashing up the place, then opens fire. John grabs Lydia's gun and fires back, but the bullets run out fast. Then comes the real blow. The SUV rams straight into the trailer, but before things spiral completely out of control, backup arrives. Neighbors come out, guns in hand, led by Kirby. The gang isn't ready for a shootout with the whole block and speeds off, warning they'll be back. John doesn't wait around for the cops. He grabs Lydia, and they disappear into the night, leaving their wrecked home behind. He's furious. This is exactly the kind of mess that could land him back in a cell. While driving, John mentions the ink he saw on those guys. Tattoos that don't lie. Their cartel muscle. That's when Lydia finally breaks. She tells her father everything. Her boyfriend Jonah, she says, was deep into shady real estate deals. He moved her into a house that turned out to be hiding cartel money. Her only job? Watch the stash. Then the money vanished. Someone hit the place, cleaned it out. The gang blamed her, and in the chaos that followed, when they demanded she prove her loyalty, she panicked and accidentally shot her boyfriend. John can barely process what he's hearing. His daughter isn't just in trouble, she's in the cartel's crosshairs. They find a cheap motel and check in for the night. At the desk, the young guy handling rooms tries to flirt with Lydia.
Hey man, where'd you find her?
The fucking delivery room.
John isn't amused, Later that night, the girl heads downstairs to chat with the receptionist. He's still smiling, still flirting, until the TV behind the counter flashes breaking news. Her face is on the screen. She's now the prime suspect in a major crime, and the cops believe she's on the run with her father. The receptionist freezes. He admits he's supposed to call the police, but instead, he chooses to trust her. Quietly, he helps them slip out. When the squad cars pull into the motel, he hands over a key to an empty room with a back exit. But the danger isn't just coming from the law. Out of nowhere, a man covered in face tattoos opens fire on everyone, including the police. John sees the chaos unfold and bolts toward the parking lot. He hotwires a nearby car, but it's no clean getaway. The gunman follows, still shooting, not caring who gets hit. The tattoos give him away. He's a sicario, a cartel enforcer, not your average street thug. These guys are sent in when someone needs to disappear, permanently. John and Lydia barely make it out alive. On the move again, John tries to make sense of it all. Why would the cartel send a sicario after her? He reaches out through old channels, sending a message to a criminal contact inside a Mexican prison. The question is simple. Who is Jonah Pincherna? With no time to waste, John and Lydia hitch a ride in the back of a truck smuggling migrants. Eventually, they reach a rough roadside bar. Inside, John starts asking around about a man named Tom Harris, better known as the Preacher. Behind the counter, shelves are stacked with bottles, and temptation hits hard. He's an addict, and the urge is loud. He steps outside and calls Kirby. Kirby picks up instantly, worried but supportive. Meanwhile, inside, Lydia is laughing with a few locals, working the room with a calm John hasn't seen in years. She floats an idea. Maybe he should fix up the trailer and go back to his quiet life. She'll sneak across the border into Mexico, start fresh. John shuts it down. Too dangerous. There's another way. The Preacher, a man with power, money, and most importantly, he owes John a favor. Turns out Lydia was one step ahead. She sweet-talked the bar patrons and already got his address. John and Lydia cross the border and make their way to a dusty ranch surrounded by barbed wire, grazing cows, and a warning sign about landmines. Because, of course, the place isn't sketchy enough already. They pass a massive hangar filled with gleaming bikes, and one of them instantly catches John's eye. It's his, still there, a beautiful Harley Softail. Inside, they find the Preacher, an aging collector of war memorabilia who's clearly turned his hobby into a shady business. Shelves stacked with medals, flags, and symbols that shouldn't legally be for sale. John reminds him of the debt, a big one, but the Preacher plays it cool, brushing it off and instead inviting them to stick around for a little gathering. That night, the ranch fills with the roar of engines and a rowdy crowd of bikers. The Preacher leans in to tell Lydia that her generation has no idea how to enjoy life the way he did. Then, he brings up her mother, how she once partied just like this before marrying rich. Outside, John shows Lydia his old Harley, says it used to mean everything. But looking at her now, he admits he doesn't want her to make the same mistakes he did. By morning, the tone shifts. The Preacher and his wife suddenly drop the act. If they turn John and Lydia in, they could make 30 grand. That kind of cash could fix a lot of things. But don't worry, they say, they're honest people, so they'll let them go. Just not with any money, and definitely not with the bike. That's where John draws the line. He knocks the gun from the wife's hand, puts his former mentor in his place, and grabs the keys to his bike. He and Lydia take off. Two armed bikers give chase. One pulls up too close, and John drops him with a clean shot. The second never makes it far. He slams headfirst into an oncoming truck. To lay low, John trims his beard and sheds the scruffy look. He calls Kirby for a quick check-in while Lydia scrolls through her phone. Another message, another threat. This time, it breaks her. She turns to her father and says she doesn't want to go on like this. John steadies her, promising it'll be okay. He tells her to rest, maybe change her appearance, while he steps out to meet someone. Lydia nods and heads to the bathroom. When she comes out, her hair is a different color. A fresh start, at least on the outside. Inside the prison, John meets Rios. There's no friendliness, just facts. Lydia's boyfriend? He's not just some cartel-connected punk. He's the nephew of the godfather of the entire Mexican operation. While the boss was behind bars, the kid was left in charge of the money. He caused chaos, stole from his own people, and pinned everything on Lydia. Back at the motel, Lydia's alone when the phone rings. It's Kirby. His voice is urgent. He warns her she's not safe and tells her to get to a public place, a theater, anywhere with a crowd. She tries to call John, but of course, his phone is locked away. Panicked, she bolts. She blends into the crowds at a movie theater, trying to stay invisible. John tells him Lydia's now being hunted because of that mess. Rios doesn't offer comfort, just a warning. If they want her dead, they'll find her, even behind prison walls. At the theater, Lydia's phone rings again. It's him, Jonah. She's stunned. She thought he was dead. He says they're past apologies. And before she can run, his guys grab her. She's shoved into a car and driven straight into the desert. When John exits the prison and checks his phone, he sees the missed call from Lydia. Then he tries Kirby, but it's not Kirby who answers. It's Jonah. Kirby's been taken, tied up, and thrown in the trunk. And now he's gone, killed. John's face hardens. He demands to know where his daughter is. He offers Jonah a deal, his own life in exchange for hers. He warns Jonah. He knows the truth, the theft, the lies, the bad blood with his own family. Jonah agrees to a meeting, one-on-one, in the middle of the desert. John makes one last stop, back to the preacher's ammo stash. He deals with his former accomplice, grabs what he needs, and sets off to rescue his daughter. The gang has one condition: come alone, come unarmed. John agrees, but before walking into their trap, he plants a landmine beneath the kickstand of his parked bike. At the meeting point, his hands are tied, and he's shoved into a car next to Lydia. Ahead of them, the bike blocks the road. Two gang members approach to move it. The second it shifts, boom, the explosion wipes them out. In the chaos, John grabs a gun off one of the bodies and takes out another attacker. Now, only two remain, Jonah and the Sicario. Jonah wants no part of this. He flees. The Sicario stays. He's already positioned high up, ready. His shot hits John, who dives behind a car for cover. Bleeding, he baits the hitman in closer. When the Sicario steps into range, John fires back. They both land shots, but John's hit worse. As Lydia rushes to him, John leans in, looks at her one last time, and tells her she's a good girl, that he loves her. Then he's gone. The police show up, too late to save him, but just in time to arrest Jonah. Later, in a Mexican prison, Jonah takes a seat at a metal table. Across from him is Arturo, smiling, surrounded by his men. Jonah's future? Not looking great. A year passes. Lydia now sits in a support group, calm and clear-eyed. She's been sober for 12 months. She talks about second chances, about the man who gave his life for hers. She no longer breaks the law. She's learning how to live. If you owe someone your life, she says, you better live it right. And there ends this story. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories like this, and drop your thoughts below. Catch you in the next one.